We have a ton of pop culture news to talk about today. Matt Reeves, who is directing and writing the Batman 2, has come out and spoken about the film, about the script, and he said a lot of really awesome things. We got our first look at Star Wars Starfighter with Ryan Gosling. We have a photo from an actual scene from the movie. Kpop Demon Hunters is getting a short film, and a really weird Avengers Doomsday / Marvel rumor is out there that we have to talk about. Now, starting with Matt Reeves, the Batman 2, he has promised us that this movie is going to be better than the first. And I would love to know your thoughts on the first. Did you like it? Did you not like it? I personally loved it. I've heard some people say that on the second watch, they didn't like it as much as the first, but I've rewatched it. I think I've seen it. I saw it twice in the theaters, and I probably watched it twice outside of that. I still love it. I really love Robert Pattinson as Batman, and Matt Reeves has said that he delivered the script to Robert Pattinson via a really cool way. They had a security pouch that had an access number on it, right? It's kind of like a safe, like you have to input a code, and Robert couldn't even open it at first, and they're like, well, of course not. You have to input the code. They gave him the code. He took out the script, read it, FaceTimed with Matt Reeves immediately after, and Matt Reeves did confirm that he loved the movie script. Robert Pattinson did. So he says we had to send it in a locked gadget. That's what they called it, a locked gadget. Robert Pattinson said, I can't open it. Matt Reeves said, I know, here's the code. They FaceTimed immediately after, and he says they're not going to reveal, obviously, any spoilers. And he says because there's going to be an extra level of heartbreak if a part of the movie, specifically the beginning of the movie, gets out. Heartbreak. You hear heartbreak and you think somebody dying. So I'm really curious as to who might die. I'm wondering if they might, throw Robin in this new one, or, what direction they're going to go. But that does intrigue me. So Matt Reeves said this about Robert Pattinson reading the script. He's Batman. If he doesn't like it, it's not good. I was super excited. I thought that he really would like it because the things that it does for his character, for Batman and for Bruce, have never been done before in this way. I had a feeling that he would respond in this way, but the fact that he did was incredibly encouraging. So right here, he says, I expected him to really like this, and he in fact did. That's how he responded. So I love it. I love it. The script has been done for a bit now, and I think out of everyone we've heard that's read it, probably like 6-7 people have read it. And so far, we've heard nothing but great things. I'm really excited because I really like this take on Batman, the true detective Batman. I think it's really great. I love the cast. The cast is great, and we know the Penguin's going to be, they said, in like 5 to 6 scenes. So I'm really, really excited for the Batman. Let me know how excited you are about this. Now, going into Star Wars, I know this is kind of a touchy subject for some people. Trust me, I get it. I'm a huge Star Wars fan. In fact, I say, with the lore, I really think Star Wars just has such incredibly intriguing lore with the Force and the Jedi and the Sith and everything. There's just so much you can get into with it. But going into the new one, I know there's a lot of we'll call it hesitation about getting into the next Star Wars. But so far, I mean, we've heard nothing but great things about it. But I mean, of course, you're going to hear that about every Star Wars. But here's a new picture that they have revealed. This is going to be directed by Sean Levy. It's called Star Wars Starfighter. In case you didn't know, Ryan Gosling is the main, and really kind of just the entire cast is kind of stacked for this movie. So we have Mia Goth, Matt Smith, Aaron Pierre, Simon Bird, Jameel Westman, Daniel Iggs, and Amy Adams, who's going to be starring opposite of Gosling in the movie. It is written by Jonathan Tropper, and it is directed by Sean Levy, who directed Deadpool and Wolverine, Free Guy, The Atom Project, Real Steel, long time ago with Hugh Jackman. And I personally think that he is a really great director. I like the direction that he takes things, and I really like this photo right here. I love this photo right here. I think it's really cool that they're on sea, because I feel like we haven't really seen that much in the Star Wars universe. I may be spacing on some scenes, right? I can tell you some scenes that take place like near water. We had some in the prequels, and then of course, Luke and like the swamp, but this is like the ocean. So I think it's really cool. I will say, it kind of seems like they're pirates, as I zoom in here and try to find, certain things. They're obviously in some type of like sea vessel. Looks like it's maybe they jerry-rigged it a little bit. I don't see any lightsabers or anything like that. And we don't know too much about this film at this point in time, but here is what we do know about this film. It's going to take place, they said, between 5 to 6 years after Episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker. Kathleen Kennedy did say there is a chance that some characters from The Rise of Skywalker, or just kind of that franchise, could show up in this movie. It is a standalone movie, though, which is really weird. So they're like separating it from it, but they're also saying, but at the same time, some of those characters could show up. But I think that basically means just it's a completely different story. So I'm very intrigued. I think it's got a good team behind it. It's got a great cast, and the director, Sean Levy, I think does a very, very good job. So I'm excited. I am still obviously hesitant because, Star Wars has been hit or miss, but I do think that we're in for it here. Now, I will say Simon Kinberg, he has a Star Wars movie that's basically just a mystery at this point in time. It's untitled, but he does say that his Star Wars films, are going to be inspired by Andor and The Empire Strikes Back. I think that's awesome. I mean, if you want to get inspiration for Star Wars, Empire Strikes Back for sure, and Andor has done an absolutely incredible job. So big things coming up for Star Wars, plus The Mandalorian and Grogu. I'm really excited for that one because I really enjoyed the series. It wasn't perfect by any means, but I enjoyed the series. Now, Kpop Demon Hunters. For those who might follow the other things that I do, other channels I have, I work in the K-pop industry. I've done a lot of work. I love K-pop. I was raised with Korean culture, which is a whole other story, but I was since very young. I loved Kpop Demon Hunters. I loved the film, the music that comes with it. And since it's had just wild success for Netflix, they're obviously doing more. A sequel is confirmed. They're talking about doing another series, or doing a series for it on top of a sequel. They're talking about doing a live action series. They're talking about doing a Broadway musical. And now, they said this before, they were going to do a short film. And now the Kpop Demon Hunters short film has been registered by Sony, and it's expected to release very soon. Now, they did something very similar with Across the Spider-Verse to explore more of Miles Morales, so it makes sense that they would do it for this. I would assume it has to go on Netflix. I know the whole Sony Netflix deal, that was like, Sony didn't expect anything to come from this, and then it becomes Netflix, biggest original movie of all time. Like, I'm sure Sony was shooting themselves in the feet there, but I'm pretty sure the rest has to come from Netflix because of the whole deal that they worked out on the rights. And I know some people at Netflix, and they haven't been able to tell me anything official, but there's big plans for this. So I'm really excited for anything more for Kpop Demon Hunters. I just hope they don't overdo it, because then if they overdo it and it's not as great, then it's, going to make it less special. But did you watch that movie? Did you like it? Did you not? Let me know. And the last thing I want to talk about today is, oh man, there's been a big rumor for Marvel, and that is basically that, and take this with a grain of salt, it's obviously not confirmed. It's coming from the YouTube user Doomcock, who has gotten things right in the past, but still take it with a grain of salt. Apparently Doomsday is going to kind of make everything from phase 4 and phase 5 non-canon to the MCU, which I can see them doing that, but not really in Avengers Doomsday. And really the topic or the discussion kind of has to be, is that right? Like, sure, phase 4 and phase 5 weren't the best. A lot of people have complained about it. I've thoroughly enjoyed mostly everything. There's obviously projects in there that I really didn't like. I didn't like Secret Invasion. I didn't like Ironheart. There were some shows in there were some movies in there that I thought were a little lackluster, but overall, I'm not that hard to please. I like superheroes. I like superhero stuff. But I think a lot of the fandom has complained, right? Maybe half, right? And Marvel definitely isn't at the peak that it was before. Sure, I'll give it that. And I can understand them wanting to start over, which is what we're going to in the new MCU post this story of the multiverse with the X-Men, the Fantastic Four, and our new Avengers, Kevin Feige the president of Marvel said they are going to recast, right? So yeah, I get it, but you can't make everything post Endgame, which is the report, non-canon. You can't do that. You can't have everything from Loki be non-canon. It's totally canon. It has to be canon, right? And like Shang-Chi, we know he's already confirmed to be in Avengers Doomsday. He has a chair. So that's canon. So I think this report was worded poorly, at least what people are saying, how it, the report, it's going to make everything non-canon. I don't think that's really what's happening here. What I believe is going to happen is after Avengers Doomsday, or like in Avengers Doomsday, towards the end, presumably, the multiverse does it dies. It gets shattered. Doom or whatever. Like maybe the incursions just have a domino effect and you can't stop it. That's what happens in the comics. Doom is trying to stop it, but realizes he can't. It's going to happen. And then we get Battleworld. The only thing left out of the entire multiverse, just one world that consists of remnants of a bunch of different universes. That, I think, is how they're going to say, hey, all this stuff, it's not necessarily non-canon, because I still think we'll have the superheroes around from those stories, like Shang-Chi. And I think they're basically just going to say, that's done, pretty much. And so when we go into this new universe, much like Crisis on Infinite Earths, a lot, like 99% of the people aren't going to remember what happened before, and history will be rewritten to where they believe they've always existed in that universe. That's what I think is going to happen. I would just be shocked if they rewrote or not rewrote, but just acted like everything that happened post Endgame just isn't canon. That's not something I could really see happening, and I don't want it to happen. Sure, there were some duds in there, but like I said, I enjoyed most of it, and some of it I thoroughly enjoyed, like Loki season 2, Guardians of the Galaxy, Shang-Chi. I actually liked Eternals as well. I know it didn't get a lot of praise when it came out, but I thought it was a pretty good movie. And yeah, like WandaVision as well. And Doctor Strange and Multiverse of Madness set up a lot for the multiverse and kind of like rules and everything. I just don't see a way that they could do it simply by saying, hey, all that happened, that's not canon. I don't think that's what's going to happen. I think basically when the multiverse gets destroyed, we get a reset. And that's kind of what this means. Moving forward, the past is going to be rewritten, so we basically get a clean slate. That's what I think, but you can let me know your interpretation about that, and let me know what you think about all of this news. I think there's so much coming up, and if half of it is great, then I think we're in for a really great treat. But I actually have faith in a lot of movies that are coming up. But let me know what you think about this news. If you're new, I would love it if you subscribed. I talk about pop culture news. And for those who made it this far, yes, I did change the name. I realize it's not really a Cosmic Wonder Plus. It's kind of just me talking about what I feel and kind of reacting to things. So I just changed it to my name, Cosmic Warren. Hi, I'm Warren. So if this is for you, subscribe. If not, thanks for joining me in this video, and I'll catch you all next time. Peace.